So we're gonna have this very unusual Board of County Commissioners meeting due to the power outage. So, you're gonna see a little bit, stop and go as commissioners will mute and unmute themselves so the audio can be captured. We're gonna be taping the meeting and we make that video available. When it's time for public testimony, we will keep the time here for 4 minutes. And this computer is what's gonna have an image of you providing the testimony as well. So we are also recording the Zoom meeting, and that also will be available to the public. So in the meantime, please remain quiet since all the background noise appears to be picked up by the Zoom. Okay, appreciate your help and cooperation on this.
All right, good afternoon. Welcome to the Thurston County Board of County Commissioners meeting, Tuesday, January 4th, 2022. It's 2:05 p.m. My name is Ty Menser, Chair of the Board. To my left, Vice Chair Commissioner Gary Edwards. To my right is Commissioner Carolina Mejia. We have County Manager Amir Chavez and Clerk of the Board Amy Davis. We have a power outage here, so we're in a slightly unusual configuration, trying to capture this meeting through Zoom. But we do have an open boardroom and we will have public comment and proceed as normal through the agenda. Okay, so we're calling the meeting to order and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I am going to lead that.
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
Wait for it. Here we go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we would also like to start today with the land acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge the indigenous Salish peoples who have lived on and cared for the land and waterways of this county since time immemorial, and who still inhabit the area today, specifically the Squaxin Island, Nisqually, and Chehalis people, our sovereign tribal partners. The purpose of this acknowledgement is to disrupt ongoing erasure of injustices done and to remember history as a stepping stone towards healing. With that, I would contemplate a motion regarding the drafted or proposed agenda for today's meeting.
I would move to approve the Tuesday, January 4th, 2022 agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the January 4th, 2022 agenda. All in favor? I guess I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer.
Aye, motion carries and the agenda is approved. Is there a motion regarding meeting minutes from December 14th and December 17th?
Yes, sir. I would move to approve the board meeting minutes from December 14th, 2021 and December 17th, 2021.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve board meeting minutes from December 14th and 17th, 2021. Any further discussion on that motion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, next is opportunity for the public to address the board. The county commissioners welcome comment from the public at our formal board meetings. There are some guidelines governing such comments to ensure they are appropriate. When called, please introduce yourself, including the name and area of the county in which you reside. Address the board, not audience or staff. Silence your cell phones. The board will not respond directly to comment, but county manager may respond today or at a future meeting on an as-needed basis with specific items. Speakers are limited to a total of 4 minutes to address the board and may not donate their speaking time to other speakers. The board reserves the right to restrict the person's opportunity to address the meeting for good cause. No comments that are lewd, offensive, inflammatory, hateful, defamatory, or discriminatory in nature. Please be respectful. No outbursts of any kind, comments that are commercial in nature, such as promotion of a for-profit business, or remarks about pending land use permits or similar matters that could eventually come before the board on appeal. Finally, all materials provided to the county may be considered public record, subject to public release upon request pursuant to the Public Records Act, Chapter 4256 of RCW. Okay, today it'll just be the folks in the boardroom. And we've got Mr. Pettit first, Mr. Ballard on deck.
You should
Is that right?
unmute.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is John Pettit. I'm from the East Olympia area. I'm one of your regulars who I'm one that kind of demands people actually follow the laws. Today I sent you a letter, and a year ago I sent you a letter. I continually have been sending you letters about following the Open Public Meetings Act. You have continually not followed the Public Meetings Act. And the Open Public Meetings Act has a variety of different elements to it. It's not just the notice of the meetings, whether it's special or regular. It requires several other things. One of them is that it requires that you take minutes at every meeting. That doesn't mean just this meeting. It means every meeting, which means also any work sessions, any other element. So I requested in my letter today, I have the minutes given to me for every meeting that you've held this last year. So far to date, you have only put online a total of 24 minutes. 24 minutes out of probably at least 200 meetings. That is a flagrant violation of the Open Public Meetings Act. And because the chair of the board is the one responsible, I will be filing a recall petition against Mr. Menzer in 2 days from now. Now, I've requested that this material that I had in the letter, which is a copy of all the minutes for the entire year, plus all of the ordinances and resolutions that have been made, be provided by the end of tomorrow night. Now, I take note that there may be a new chair of the board. I think that person should think about that very cautiously. Because if they're in the position that's not providing all of the proper documentation and notice, which is required to be right here available to walk in and view, you don't have to make a public records request to get any of the information I've requested here. It's supposed to be available to me. Walk into the office and open the door. And when you can't follow the law, you have to be removed. So whoever chooses to be the chair of the board this next time around, a couple of weeks from now, if we don't have everything straightened out, you unfortunately may be also subject to the same thing that Mr. Menzer is going to be. It's not personal, it's just I've requested far too many times. Now, in brief, I'm going to give you a couple examples. I provided you a list, and there's a page here that shows the minutes for 2021. Take a look. There's a little mark next to a 5/18/2021. That has the minutes. And it says you approved the minutes for 5/11/2021. Guess what? They're not posted. Okay, let's go to another one. The next one noted of minutes that was made for 8/31/21, posted. But when you go there, it says the minutes for 8/24 was approved. Still not there. There's an intentional act of not putting minutes and resolutions up. And because I don't know my time left, and I'll try to be
You have 20 seconds.
Okay. One of the things that you have, in case you're not aware what a search engine is on the computers, is you have certain things which you can put in a term. And it will pop up everything with that term. If it's a minutes, it's a resolution, or whatever. Guess what doesn't show up? Atrium. I believe that you've had a direct action by somebody, and I'm gonna have to blame it on the commissioners yourselves, to delete these things from public record. You're the ones that are held accountable. I'm not gonna hold him accountable. I'm gonna hold you accountable. and you're gonna be the ones that are gonna be facing potential consequences, including the violation of the Open Public Meetings Act. Each violation is one violation.
Time's up, sir.
I realize that. One time without a minutes is one violation. You have hundreds that you're gonna be subject to for not following the law. Thank you.
Mr. Ballard and then Mr. Tedeschi.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Terry Ballard. I'm a 35-year veteran. I retired in 2012 in Tanglewild, which is unincorporated Thurston County, which you all live in. I'm here today to advocate, to go ahead and tell you something else. It's $500 the first fine for each incident, and it's $1,000 after that. And I hope some lawyer or somebody out there wants to make millions of dollars of money like Mr. Arthur West. He ended up suing the Port Commission for the same thing that Mr. Pettit's going after. And I think he got a couple $100,000, I think. But you know what? That doesn't reflect on you. It reflects on the taxpayer. Okay? Another thing. I'm all about racism. I'm all about racism. I'm all about discrimination. I have an 80-hour course in equal opportunity. I have another additional 7 years working in that environment to make everything equal. Okay? In front of me, I have a resolution number 15933. It's discriminatory. It's discriminatory against Mrs. Mejia. Okay? It's discriminatory because she cannot get information in her own district without going through the manager, okay, and not from the source. And if he refuses to do that, per your resolution, you have to have a vote of 3. So how's your district doing? Okay? You're not a number. You correspond with a district. How are the veterans doing? How are the homeless programs doing? Okay? How is your district doing? Okay? You have no clue. You have no clue of how many veteran organizations are in your district. Okay? You have no clue of who represents you on the Veterans Advisory Board. You have no clue. In other words, you're an in-name only position. When somebody tells you that everything's legal, okay, in a document that's supposed to be legal, what's the problem with that? That's like somebody coming up to me for 35 years and telling me with all due respect, and then they're going to disrespect you. I suggest that you rescind the resolution 15933 as it is discriminatory against not only each district, each commissioner, it's discriminatory towards staff and everyone else who wants to provide you clean and information that you can make an informed decision on. Okay? Information is not power. Information should be disseminated to the lowest level possible. In the military, we had two Uniform Code of Military Justice. In state law, you have the same. In the military, it says failure to obey lawful order or regulation. If I were to tell you, if I was a lawyer or a judge or whatever, and if I would tell you it was legal to go out and rob a bank, would you do that? No, because it's illegal. So you have staff telling you what's legal and what's not, but in the term, it's all illegal. There's something illegal about it. And I want to know where the resolution is for that atrium building, because I want to see the usage of a $10 million to fix up a $4 million building that I am paying for. I want to see it. It doesn't exist. It's hidden.
9 seconds.
It's
sir.
hidden from me, and that is discrimination. Reverse discrimination, reverse racism, they are part of the discriminatory acts, okay? And to gather a board made up of ethnic groups is discriminatory, okay? That is the first thing that I was taught in equal opportunity school. Thank you.
Mr. Tedeschi.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Jan Tvetten. I live down on Rochester Prairie, and I've been there for over 50 years. This is a great day for me and my family. About 5 years ago, I gave one son and a daughter 5 acres each to build a house. And after a long drawn-out process, I now have the building permit for both of them. One is finished, and one I'm starting on. I got so damn cold out there this morning, digging for the power line that I gave up and came in here instead. I put together a summary of what I went through. Because not long from now, you're gonna have to vote on whether or not you're gonna implement the HCP that you have before you and that staff is working on. Now, the HCP is a long, nasty document, and one that is really, in my opinion, not applicable to a single residence. You think of it, that residence that I'm going to build, 2,000 square feet, had to be published in the National Register for 30 days for comment nationwide. Now that is idiotic. Now, you may wonder what took so long for all these projects, for these 2 projects. The first one was 2 years in the permit process, the next one was 3 years. I thought it would be faster the second time, but it didn't. Now I'll tell you what the problem is. And it's not your staff, it's not U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service staff, it is the policy makers. Now, I don't know if I can read this. I gave you a letter, and on the second page, I list the reasons why it took so long. Work on a single family residence is the lowest priority of any work assigned to U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service staff. Lowest priority. When they have nothing else to do, then they will work on that. U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service changes review staff every 3 or 4 months. I had 4 individuals reviewing the last HCP that I did. And when there's a new staff, you got new opinions, you got new attorney, and you rewrite the whole legal document. And then what they do is they add requirements. In my case, they added archaeological research. And that cost of that research document is $5,000. In this case, because it was an addition to the requirements from when I started, they excused me from the $5,000 fee, but it took a substantial amount of time for their staff to do it. Now, I am looking forward to the county adopting its own HCP and the regulation that goes with that.
20 seconds, sir.
But the key for most of us is, what is the mitigation fee going to be? Now, I had talked to staff, and based on what staff told me, the mitigation fee will be probably for a single residence, normal disturbance of natural grounds, about somewhere between $5,000 and $8,000. Now, if you do that, then you don't have to have a site-specific HCP. So you save that money. And I bet that an HCP by a consultant will cost you somewhere around $10,000. Now, I understand that there are people at the present time that have a lot of money. They can go and buy replacement land.
Please wrap it up, sir.
And that will cost you about 50,000. Plus, you do it, then have to also have an endowment for maintenance, which is 10,000. Now, whether these things worked out or not, I don't know. But I encourage you to do something about it, because this is ridiculous. It took 2 years for one house, and the next one took 3 years. Longer, based, even having the experience of the first one. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
That's all I had on my sign up. That's all I had for my sign up sheet. Mr. Ramon.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
The irony is interesting. I'm Gregory Moe. I live in northeast Thurston County. For some time now, I've been talking about ways to streamline and increase the availability of affordable and attainable housing in Thurston County. Land use regulations, permitting process, and fees, et cetera, can all be worked around, and I know there's some work in progress. As of 1 o'clock this afternoon, in all of Thurston County, Rochester, all of Thurston County, there are 138 single-family residences on the market. Thank you.
Anyone else who'd like to provide comment? Okay,
I have one on the Zoom screen, sir. Ms. Susan Yochin
Speak up.
would like to provide testimony. Ms. Yochin, would you like to provide testimony this afternoon?
okay.
Go ahead.
If you guys are talking to me, Susan Yocum, no thank you, but have a nice New Year's.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Let's move on to county manager's update, item number 2 on today's agenda.
I don't have any particular updates for you today, Commissioners.
Okay, then let's go straight to item 3. There is no consent agenda today. Item 3A is a 2022 election of officers for the Board of County Commissioners.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioners. The items 3A, 3B, and 3C is the result of the conversations that you had on December 14th or agenda setting, where you discuss among yourselves the assignments for the 2022 boards and commissions, including the Board of County Commissioners, the Board of Health, the Transportation Benefit District, as well as all the many different assignments and representations outside for the boards and commissions outside of the county. You also had a conversation this morning and reviewed the proposed changes. There was a typo on that has been corrected, Commissioner Mejia. I have not received any other comments, so I assume that is correct. So I will ask for you to consider going item by item. And again, this is the reflective of your conversations on December 14th as well as this one. Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions before we ask for a motion?
No, sir.
Okay, then I'm ready for a motion on 3A.
On 3A, I would move to approve Commissioner Mejia as chair and Commissioner Menser as vice chair of the 2022 Board of County Commissioners.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion on this motion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer,
Aye. The motion carries. 3A is approved. Let's go to 3B. Go ahead, Commissioner Edwards. You're ready.
Yes, sir. I thought the county manager was gonna mention something, but I think
No,
we've
he
covered it
just
all,
kinda,
right? Covered
he
it all.
just gave us an overview.
Okay. I would move to approve Commissioner Menser as chair and Commissioner Edwards as vice chair of the 2022 Board of Health.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve Commissioner Mentzer as chair, Commissioner Edwards as vice chair of the Board of Health. Any further discussion on the motion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Mentzer,
Aye, the motion carries. Let's go to 3C.
On item C, I would move to approve Commissioner Mejia as chair and Commissioner Mentzer as vice chair of the 2022 Transportation Benefit District.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to approve Commissioner Mejia and Commissioner Mentzer as chair and vice chair of the Transportation Benefit District.
I have a question.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. I think that you're gonna mention something.
Yeah.
Is a typo in there, so is,
President.
is president and vice president. So, do you mind rephrasing the motion, Commissioner? Should be Commissioner Mejia as president and Commissioner Mentzer as vice president.
Wouldn't it have to be an amendment since it's already been seconded?
Oh, already second, thank you.
Yeah, or he can, yeah.
Yeah.
Or short of,
Oh, and I wasn't, so I was muted anyway, so go ahead.
I'll go ahead and make, I guess I can make I'm gonna move to amend the motion to change the wording of chair and vice chair to president and vice president. Is there a second?
I'll second.
The amendment has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion on that amendment?
No, sir.
No,
Okay,
sir.
I'll call for the vote on the amendment.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Mentzer,
Aye. There is now an amended motion before the board on approving Commissioner Mejia as president and Commissioner Mentzer as vice president of the 2022 Transportation Benefit District. Any further discussion on the amended motion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Mentzer,
Aye, the motion carries. Thank you. Let's go to 3D.
I would move to confirm the 2022 Board of County Commissioners representation and assignments to boards and commissions.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to confirm the boards and commissions assignments. And is there further discussion on the motion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Other than do we need to point out that there is a list? Do we need to make mention of it here?
No, that is gonna attach to the agenda, so it's available to the public.
Okay. It's available to the public
Yes,
in
sir.
our packet. Thank
It's
you.
been available, yeah, since.
That's it, sir.
Okay, then I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Mentzer,
Aye, the motion carries, and those assignments are affirmed. Let's go to item 4, which is commissioner reports on board work sessions, committee meetings, any updates you'd like to provide. Start with Commissioner Mejia.
I don't have much to report on, just getting, a lot of emails in regards to, the snow and plowing the streets and how that's been going. I do have some good news. I did get appointed to the County Road Administration Board by, our Wasac representative, so I'm very happy to serve on that, statewide committee. Other than that, that's my full report. Thank you.
Commissioner Edwards?
I believe the only thing I'm gonna report on is over the past 2 years, we've been dealing with this COVID-19 problem. And I believe that all of us as commissioners have received extra scrutiny since our last public meeting. And I think that shows in the questions that we asked the health department today. It's been a topic of concern for our citizens, and I don't believe there's one day that goes by that I don't have quite a few conversations with citizens that are trying to understand how we're going to be dealing with that in the future. Not only what we've done in the past, but what's coming in the future. Where can they get a test? Where can they get a treatment? And it seems like there's just not a lot of answers out there. And I believe that causes confusion. So I'm hoping that now coming into this next year, we're gonna get a few more answers, get a few more things figured out, and hopefully guide the public through this problem that we're dealing with. I'm just gonna leave my comments to that, sir. I think that took up a lot of time over the last year.
Sure did. I just wanted to say that this is my last day as chair of the board for this year anyway, and I really appreciated the support I've had from my seatmates, the respect and courtesy, collegiality, support from staff to make it something that was not any more difficult than it had to be. And I thank Commissioner Mejia for taking the baton and leading us through 2022. So I think we did a lot of good work this past year, and I appreciate everybody's support. So with that, let's go to our item 4B, County Manager's Schedule Review.
Thank you, Commissioners. Let me walk you through your combined schedule for this upcoming week, where at least 2 commissioners will be present. Nothing for the rest of the day today. Tomorrow, Wednesday, January 5th, at 10:30, you have the opportunity to welcome new county employees. Thursday, January 6th, 10 in the morning, you have a commissioners check-in. An agenda has been posted. At 1 in the afternoon, you have your regular check-in with Superior Court. Nothing on Friday, January 7th. Nothing on Monday, January 10th. And you will convene back again on Tuesday, January 11th. Go through the agenda setting. In the afternoon, you will have the Board of County Commissioners meeting as well as the Board of Health meeting on Tuesday, January 11th. That's all I have for you.
Okay. Anything else for the good of the order before we adjourn?
I do want to say something, just since it is your last day being chair, I just want to say that I've appreciated this year, you know, your guidance throughout the whole year, yours and Commissioner Edwards too. And definitely as a new commissioner, giving me a lot of context and history when it came to several matters. And really just your neutrality in some issues and definitely being a great leader and giving us all space to say our piece in different issues. So thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, very good. With all that, we're adjourned.